and welcome to Easter Egg Hunting, a show that dissects your favorite games looking for hidden secrets and Easter eggs. Today marks the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, so what better time to travel through gaming history and look for Easter eggs and references to this classic science fiction series. We'll be traversing space and time to cover decades worth of material, so let's get this introduction over with and get to some games. Our first stop in time is 1984 with the Apple II programming, educational and puzzle game Robot Odyssey. Near the beginning of the game, a robot can be found patrolling the sewers that bears a strong resemblance to the Doctor Who cyborg mutant race, the Daleks. If the player touches this robot, the level will be reset. Next up is 1985 with the Commodore 64 shoot-'em-up puzzle game Droid. This game features hundreds of different androids that can be controlled or destroyed by the player. One of the droids, number 883, also looks suspiciously like a Dalek. This connection is expanded upon in the droid's description, which states, "This droid was designed from archived data. For some unknown reason, it instills fear in human adversaries." A nod to the violent, hateful nature of the Doctor Who villains. Following that, we visit 1991, where the Daleks are referenced again in the PC adventure game Hugo 2 Whodunit. When the player directs the protagonist, Penelope, into a phone booth and enters a command to dial 1-800-333-HUGO, the game states, "You feel a strange sensation, as if the walls of the phone box grow hazy and seem to recede." When the prompt is cleared, the screen transitions to another planet where Penelope exits what appears to be the TARDIS. She then encounters two characters that appear to be the Doctor and a Dalek. After shooting and destroying the Dalek, the Doctor gives Penelope a sonar screwdriver, a reference to the sonic screwdriver in the show. Next on up is 1994 with another PC adventure game, Beneath a Steel Sky. In this game, the protagonist, Robert, has a circuit board that contains the personality of a talking sentient robot named Joey. Placing the circuit board into robot bodies gives Joey the ability to control that body. One of these bodies slightly resembles a Dalek. When Robert asks Joey how he feels about this new shell, Joey replies, "Exterminate! Exterminate!" a reference to the popular Dalek catchphrase. One random encounter in Fallout, referred to as the unusual call box, involves a blue British police box. If the player gets too close, the call box will disappear, leaving nothing behind. The TARDIS appears again in the 2003 multi-platform racing game XGRA, Extreme G Racing Association. Background designer Wayne Peters, who is a self-proclaimed rabid Whovian, admitted that he hid the blue police box in the background of the game's aerodrome level. Skipping forward a bit to 2006, Destroy All Humans 2 for the PS2 and Xbox also contains a few subtle references to our favorite science fiction program. Whilst terrorizing humans in Albion, people can be heard occasionally screaming, "Someone call the doctor!" and "Where the hell's that bleeding TARDIS?" Using the psychokinetic power Follow on citizens of Albion also causes them to sometimes chant, "I obey," which is a possible nod to either the Master or the Daleks. The Earth is also referred to as Sol 3, the name used by the Time Lords in various stories. Jumping again into 2007, the game Rock Band features DLC of a character inspired by the Doctor himself, affectionately named Dr. Watt. This character is seen wearing a long jacket and scarf, two pieces of clothing often associated with the actual Doctor. In 2009, we find a character in Pokemon Platinum that claims to be working to stop Team Galactic from ripping reality into pieces. He wears a brown coat and a suit, has very pointy hair, and uses the codename Looker. Although this isn't a confirmed reference, this character keeps his real name a mystery like the Doctor, and his design is unmistakably reminiscent of the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. It's now 2010, and we finally return to the Fallout series with Fallout New Vegas. But this reference is sort of obscure, so it requires a bit of a refresher. In the Doctor Who episode, Silence in the Library, the Doctor finds some researchers who have special suits. The suits have a special function where it could keep the user alive, in a sense, after they die, and could allow them to speak by retaining their consciousness. One of the first people who died would repeat the words, "Who turned out the lights?" over and over again. In Fallout New Vegas, there is an enemy called the Y-17 Trauma Override Harness. The suit was designed to make sure the person inside would go back to the base he was stationed at, even if he is dead. If the player has a special perk called Wild Wasteland while fighting the enemy, the phrase, "Hey, who turned out the lights?" can be heard coming from the suit. The game also has another sneaky Doctor Who reference. An NCR emergency radio broadcast in the game states, "Bravo, Bravo, Charlie, the Doctor is coming," referencing the BBC and the Doctor. It's also been speculated that the game's sonic emitter is a reference to Captain Jack Harkness's sonic blaster in the episode The Empty Child. And there's also a small chance that the game's Securitron robots will shout "Exterminate" during combat. Now we're in 2011, and Valve's multiplayer first-person shooter from 2007, Team Fortress 2, receives an update. The update contains a decorative red bow tie referred to as Dr. Woe. The bow tie can be worn by either the medic or the spy, and was created through the Steam Workshop by the user Tor-V. The tie itself is a reference to the 11th Doctor, portrayed by Matt Smith, who famously said, "Bow ties are cool." Still in 2011, the fantasy MMO RuneScape also receives an update, adding two characters to the game called Rory and Amelia, a nod to the Doctor's companions. If you claim to be the hero of the stories that these two are telling, Rory will claim that that's impossible as your character isn't tall or strong enough and isn't wearing a bow tie. Then last but not least, we skip ahead to 2012 with Borderlands 2. In the side mission Hell Hath No Fury, After blowing up the dam, Handsome Jack will read out a list of the week's construction casualties, which are Hartnell W, Troughton P, Pertwee J, and Baker T. This is a reference to the actors William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, and Tom Baker, all of whom played the role of the Doctor in that respective order. One of the skins for the character Maya is also named Rose Taylor, a possible reference to the character Rose Tyler. If you think we've missed any Easter eggs or references, let us know in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to check out our other videos, and be sure to check out VGFacts.com. And also, if you're watching this video in the dead of the night and you're up for a bit of a scare, make sure that you check out my top 10 scariest songs in video games video. You might like it, or you might not. I don't know. I'm never gonna know unless you look at it.